Okay guys, so in today's topic we are going to talk about how to check for the existence of an element. But before we see how to write a test for it, let's first understand what is meant by existence of an element. Okay, now in our application we have this functionality of show and hide here, right? So the functionality is, if I click on hide button, the element is getting hidden. If I click on show button, the element is getting shown. Okay, now let's understand what are the changes happening in the DOM of an element once we click on hide and show. Okay, now see here, this is the element, this edit element, right? This is the DOM structure of that element, edit box. Now when I click on hide, the element is still there in the page. You can see this element representation is still there. Just the change is happening in the style attribute of it. You can see here, like see the style attributes value. I am clicking on show. So after clicking on show, I am getting this style attribute set to display : block. When I am clicking on hide, it is getting set to, the style attribute is getting set to display : none. But the real fact is the element is still present in the DOM. It is still there, just the attribute style is changing when we click on hide and show. But let's assume that the implementation of this functionality is done in such a way where by the developers, where when I click on show, this input element is getting added into the browser's DOM, and when I click on hide, it is getting removed, means this input element is getting removed like this. I'll show you. This is very important to understand. So I'll say cut, or I'll say delete. If I can delete the element, I'll just see it if I can delete it or what, right? So if the element is getting removed altogether, delete element, yeah, like this. Let's assume that when we click on hide, the element is getting removed, and when I'm clicking on show, the element is again getting added to the DOM of the page. If this is the implementation of this functionality, hide and show, then our test case implementation would be little different here. The test case approach, the approach by which we are automating this test case would be a little different, and that is what is called as checking for the existence of an element. So we will talk about it now, how to check the existence of an element now. Like if the element is getting removed and it is getting put in back into the DOM, so how to check that? Let's understand. So let me create a new class. So I'll say new class check existence of an element. So I'm checking existence of an element here. So checking for the visibility is different and checking for the existence is different. Now in AngularJS applications, guys, in AngularJS applications, you will find these kinds of scenarios where the element is getting put in back to the page. There is ngIf directive there in the AngularJS. So ngIf, so on certain condition, the element gets put into the DOM of the browser, and on the other condition it gets removed from the DOM of the browser. So in AngularJS applications you will encounter this kind of an implementation where, say, after I click on hide, that ngIf directive will remove this from the DOM. After clicking on show, that ngIf will put it again back the element to the DOM, right? So if this is the case, then how to check that whether our show and hide button are working fine or not? Now here what we need to do is, Once I click on hide button, I want to confirm that the element is indeed not present in the DOM of the browser. And when I click on show, I want to confirm that element has been put back again into the DOM. So it is exist once I click on show, and when I click on hide, I want to check it does not exist. Okay, so that is what checking for the existence. Now let's see how can we do it. This is little tricky actually, because Selenium doesn't have any ready-made API available for checking for the existence of an element. So I'm just taking these 3 statements from our another test. Okay, now this is little tricky. Please concentrate. Now what I'll do is I will click on the hide button, which we have already done in our show and hide test case. So Control C, and I will just put it here. So what we are doing here, we are finding this hide button. We are identifying this hide button here. Let me inspect it. So this hide button has ID set. So we are using driver.findElementById, and we are saving our scripting reference for that element in this variable, and we are doing click on it. Now there is a trick here. Now what I want to confirm, after I click on hide button, I want to check that. Let me inspect this edit control. Now once I click on hide button, I want to check that this entire DOM representation of the element has been removed from the DOM of the browser. That is what I want to confirm. Okay, now let's see how to confirm it. So what I'll do is I will try to find this element using any of its attribute like ID or name. Okay, let's do that. So what I'll do, I'll say web element, or let's not store the store it in any variable, because we are not going to perform any operation on it. We are just simply going to find it. So what I'll do, I'll say driver.findElementById, and I will just take this ID, Control C and Control V. Now what happens, we are telling our driver to find an element having ID set to this displayed text. Now if the element is present in the browser's DOM, the scripting reference of that element gets returned to us, right, which we can store it in variable, and then we can use that for performing the kind of operations we want to do with that. But if the element, the driver doesn't find the element in the DOM, then how it reacts, how does this the API reacts in that case? It returns us an exception called no such element exception. So if you are finding an element using any findElementById, findElementByName, findElementByCSS, if the element is found, that element's scripting reference gets returned. If that element doesn't, if the driver doesn't find the element, it returns the no such element exception. Now this is the understanding we need in order to check for the existence of an element. Now this understanding is very important here. Now let's see how are we going to make use of this understanding to cover up this this test case. So what we know is, if the element is found, we are going to get the element back. If the element doesn't find, we are going to get the exception. So what we will do, we will catch this exception. So I'll say try, and I will put this find element in the try. So if the element does not exist, that is what we are expecting here. After clicking on hide, that is what we are expecting, that this element should not be there, right? So we are expecting this statement to throw us an exception. So I will catch that exception. I'll say catch no such element exception. So this no such element exception is, let's import it from Selenium, org openqa.selenium. Okay, so this statement, we are expecting it to return us an exception as we have now clicked on the hide button. So we want our execution. So our execution would be like this, like it will open the driver, it will open the URL, then our hide button would be found. We will get the scripting reference of it, and hide button dot click, the click will happen on that button, and this will get removed from the DOM. And here we will try to find that element which is not there in the DOM. Okay, so if we are trying to find an element here which does not exist there in the DOM, so this is going to return us exception, and that exception, and we know that how the exception handling works, the try catch. So when any statement from the try gives you an exception, so the entire try block gets ignored and it jumps to the catch clause. And here the object of the particular exception class gets created and it gets thrown to simulate the error throwing, and that object we can store in the variable. That is what we calling as catching an exception. Catching means creating such a variable which will store the object which has been created and got thrown as part of simulation of the error, right? So here we are expecting the flow of the code to come here in the catch, right? And then here there would be an assertion that indeed my code went into this catch or not. So when my code executed from start to this point, so indeed it went here or not, and I am expecting my code to go here in this catch block because I want this find element by ID to throw me an exception. If it doesn't throw an exception, it means it could find that element in the DOM. It means the hide button didn't work, because hide button, we are expecting that hide button to remove this from the DOM of our browser. So we want our code to go inside this catch. So what we will do to check whether it indeed went or not, we will mention here is element exists. We will define some variable int element exists, and we will define it with some initial value that is 0, say, and I will just make it 1 in this catch block. And here I will check what is the value when my code flow will come here. What is the value of my variable? So if it is 1, means my code indeed went into this catch and this hide button worked, right? So if this is equal to 1, then I will say hide button removed text box from DOM passed. If not, if let's assume that as a bug, after clicking on the hide button, this text box element still remained in the DOM, then what will happen? Our is element exists is equal to 0, and you clicked on the hide button. Because of the bug, this particular DOM representation of our text box, it still remained there in the DOM. It didn't get removed. So driver.find element by ID, so it will get that element in the DOM and it will not give any exception to us, right? It will execute all fine here. So it will not go in the catch block, and our is element exist variable will remain with its initial value, that is 0, and this particular if condition will get evaluated to false, and that will give us an indication that hide button didn't work fine. So if this is element exists remains with its original value, means that the exception didn't got fire, and if it changes its value, it means this particular statement indeed failed finding that element, and hide button successfully removed it from the DOM, hence it couldn't find that element there, hence the exception occurred, and our is element exist variable changed its value from 0 to 1. This is very important, and I'll say hide button didn't remove text box from DOM failed. Now next what I'll do, I will click on show button now, because show button now is expected to bring this back in the DOM again. Like the hide button will remove it from the DOM, and show button, click on show, will again put it back to the DOM, right? So now let's check that whether show button works fine or not. We are assuming the implementation like this, guys. Currently the implementation is not like that, but please assume it, and you will seldom face these kinds of scenarios if you are working on Angular JS based applications, because Angular support this adding the elements in the runtime and removing it from the application design. So it supports it, this kind of a feature using ngIf and all, right? So seldom you will find this kind of an implementation there. So I'm just explaining you, if you have this kind of a scenario, then how you will do it. So here we will say show button, and here I will find this show button, and I will say show buttons ID I will put here. So we are finding the show button using ID attribute, then show button dot click. So I am clicking on the show button. So what I am expecting now? I am expecting now, after click on show, the element which was removed from the DOM, this one which was removed from the DOM, should again get put back to the DOM of the browser on click on show. And by that I will confirm that yes, my show button indeed working fine. So for that, what I will do, I will again put this my variable again back to the original value of it. So I'll say, let's set this, the value of this variable back to 0. If it has become 1 here, so let's put it back to the 0 here again, so that there won't be any problems. So now again I will do the same thing. Again I will try to find that element. Is element exist, I will set it to 0 again. Again I'll try to find that text box using final by ID, and again we will put it into the try catch only, because if the show button, because of the bug, it didn't add the element back to the DOM, let's say because of the bug, so we should be able to catch it up here. So again, if the show button didn't work successfully, our element will not be added back to the DOM, and this particular find element will again return us an exception, which we will catch here. Now here what we will say, if our isElement exists, our isElement exists variable, we are expecting now our isElement exists to be with its initial value only. We don't want it to change its value to 1, because we don't want, after we click on show button, we don't want this to return us an element, because we are expecting our show button dot click to add the element back to the DOM, and we want this to be successful in finding the element and not returning any exception. So we didn't want here our code should go into this catch and make this variable 1 here. That's why we'll say if it remained with its initial value 0, then we will say show button added text box to DOM. And if it didn't add, let's say because of the bug, if it didn't add back, then what will happen? Our isElement exists will be 0. Our driver will try to find that element which it will not succeed in. It will throw the exception. It will come here in the catch. It will make the isElement exists variable value to 1, and our if will fail here, because we want our isElement exists to contain 0, and we want it not go in the catch and make it 1. But if it indeed couldn't add back the element in the DOM, the show button, then it will trigger the exception. It will make the isElement exist to 1, and here our if will get fail, and we will say show button didn't add text box to DOM. So if it didn't add, then it will fail. Now let's revise it, guys. Let's revise it. Don't worry. Let's revise it. So what we are doing, we are opening the browser, we are opening our URL, and we are defining one integer variable with some initial value, let's say 0 here. Now what we are doing, we are finding this hide button. We are finding the hide button using its ID attribute. We are storing its scripting reference. So the element would be found here. Its scripting reference would be stored in this variable, and we are clicking on the hide button. So initially the state would be like this. So we are clicking on the hide button. So as soon as we click on hide button, we are expecting this element to be removed like this from the DOM. Wait a minute, let me delete the element. So we are expecting it to happen like this. Now what we are doing, we are trying to find that element which was there, right? So we are trying to find that element. So deliberately we are doing it. We are not going to do any interaction with that element, but we are trying to find an element and check that whether that element exists there or not. So if the element is exist, this will be successful. If not, then this will result into exception. So after clicking on hide button, we expect this to throw us an exception which we are catching, and we are simply changing the value of this variable from 0 to 1 in the catch, so that when our execution flow will come here, we will check what is the value of that variable now. If it remained 0, it means it didn't throw us an exception. If it changes its value to 1, it means indeed this statement thrown us that error exception after clicking on hide. So hide successfully removed that element from the DOM. That is what we are comparing here. That's why we are comparing the value of our variable here to 1, because we want indeed this to fail to find an element and get our execution into the catch block. Now then we are identifying our show button here. So show using ID, then we are clicking on that show button. Now what we expect, after we click on show, we expect our element to come back to the DOM, right? So we expect this element to come back to the DOM. So that is what we are expecting, right? So this element we are expecting to back to the DOM. So what we are doing, again we are putting our variable to its initial value, okay, before we find an element. So again we are trying to find an element. We are catching the exception. If indeed that show button couldn't add back that element, then our test should not break in between. So that's why we are catching an exception, and we are changing the value, the initial value of this variable to 1 again. But here we are comparing it with 0. Why? Because we indeed want this to be successful now. This is the exact opposite to what we checked here. So here we expect it to throw us an exception, but here we expect it to be successful in finding the element, and we don't want it to go to the catch and change its value to 1. But we are trying and catching here, because if it indeed happened that that show couldn't add the element back, then this one will throw a no such element exception, and it will change its value to 1 here, the variable's value from 0 to 1. But here we are checking the value with 0 to confirm that it didn't went inside. So it didn't went inside this catch block. It could find the element successfully. That is indeed a confirmation of the show button added back that variable, added back that element into the DOM. And this is what we are doing here, right? So this is how we can check for existence and non-existence. Checking the visibility and invisibility is different, and checking for existence and non-existence is different. In other tools like Test Complete and all, you will find the ready-made APIs for it. .is exists, but in Selenium we do not have. In Selenium we have to apply our understanding of how Selenium works internally, and by that understanding, or with the help of that understanding, we have to implement this scenario of checking an existence. Right? Okay.